They never say anything. Eventually, when they say it, they're going to have to overcorrect so much, or vice versa. Say maybe you see somebody doing something wrong because you didn't start it at the beginning. You didn't start it when it was just a crack in the ice. Now it's a giant hole and you're in some trouble.
You think it's no big deal. The bug in the garden is small. But remember, trends are too weak to notice until they're too strong to stop. We did an episode on that recently. You got to notice it when it's small, express it when it's small. Otherwise, you're going to have it all come out at once.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Alan, what do we help them level up?
Their health,
no,
their wealth.
You already jeffed it.
And their life and their love.
Your life, your love, your health, and your wealth.
Oh,
son.
I messed up the order.
Yeah, it's
but
hard.
I got them all.
You did get them all. Yeah, you will. Yep. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. It was number 1074, last week's Q&A. What obstacles can one expect when trying to be both confident and humble? Today, for episode number 1075, happy Friday, an easier way to express your truth.
Mm-hmm.
Alan and I are business partners, but we're also really, really, really good friends. I would say brothers at this point, brethren at this point. Brada, yes. That's something we say behind the scenes when we're energetic and or exhausted. And I really wish you wouldn't have done it because you're going to make me laugh. Lock it up.
You got to
lock it up.
Lock it up.
Group coaching after
this is serious.
Lock it up. We have expressed many difficult truths to one another. And I would say that is one of the best things that we have ever done. And sometimes it really sucks.
Yeah.
Sometimes it really sucks. Alan and I had a very difficult conversation in California one time, and we were both literally crying in the rental car. And I remember that was a pivotal moment for us, but I really wish I had a good segue to say, hey, man, instead of we need to talk, or hey, man, something's bothering me, or hey, man, I don't like this, whatever it may be. So today's episode, our goal is to give you some sort of prompt that you can use when you want to bring up a difficult truth. And Alan has his, I have mine, and we're trying to use these not only, well, I don't know, I'll speak for myself when it comes to the relationship side, but I'm trying to use these not only in my relationship with Taryn, but on the team and anywhere I can express it, really. So this is what I like to do. Anytime I have something that I want to bring up that I realize might be, I don't want to say an argument. It might be something that can be difficult feedback to deliver. This is what I say. Hey, let's just say, hey, babe, if I'm talking to Taryn. Hey, babe, do you mind if I have a vulnerable share with you right now? And what that is now known as, or what she thinks of when I say that is, okay, Kevin has some form of truth that he would like to share with me. It might be something that is going to create a deep conversation. And that frame allows us to both kind of settle down and say, okay, we're about to have a deep, somewhat serious conversation, instead of saying, hey, we need to talk. Hey, something's been bothering me. Something has been bothering me. I don't know why I can't say that. It gives you an in to start the conversation. It's almost like having a weekly check-in. When you have a weekly check-in, it creates a prompt for you to say, okay, it's Sunday. We have to have the conversations that we've been waiting to have all week. We have to do the check-ins. We have to do the love languages, whatever it may be. I think, Alan, a lot of people don't express their truth because it doesn't seem like there is either a simple way, an opening. It doesn't seem like the other person's receptive. And hopefully through these prompts, you can create some sort of receptiveness and an on-ramp to a potentially difficult conversation.
One of the most challenging things in the entire world, I think, is this right here. I really, really do. And I think that in an intimate relationship, or in your friendships, or with your family in particular, or with your business partners, or your team members at work, or your colleagues, or mentors, or mentees, what I've come to understand at 33 years of age is that it is impossible to consistently work well and collaborate with others without being able to express vulnerable truths that are uncomfortable. And I think the levels of discomfort obviously vary based on the level of the truth and the level of the relationship. So this is all contextual, but I coach a lot of people, as I talk about, and this is one of the main constraints to individuals growing and scaling and achieving their dreams, really. It's a very vulnerable place. It's a psychologically challenging place, and it can be really difficult. So we're trying to make it a habit And we have a new habit at NLU that we're doing. But first, I want to tell a recent story that happened that I think will provide context. So for those of you who are out there watching or listening, I have 2 executive admins who are amazing. They support me every single day, and they work together to do that. So Jenna and Amy, shout out to both of you. We have a MIT list, most important task list, that we all use together. And I used to do something that had bothered them, and they brought it up recently. So whenever I need to express a difficult truth to somebody, I would usually put it on my to-do list so I don't forget. Because I got a lot going on, right? We got 25 departments and 17 team members now, and I got a lot of things going on, a lot of clients, 30 plus clients, and I'm grateful for that, but it can be difficult to remember all these little truths that I want to share. And so what I do is I put express truth to Amy on the MIT list, and Amy and Jenna check. It's part of their responsibilities to check over that list and see if they can cherry pick stuff off and support me, and I'm really grateful for that. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll see express truth to Amy or express truth to Jenna on the list, and then they'll screenshot it and text me and say, what is this about, right? Mm. And that's kind of like if you were to get a text of, hey, we need to talk, and then you're just sitting there in the uncertainty, and that's not fair. They shouldn't sit there for a week in uncertainty when really I should just send an audio or a text or whatever. So we have our weekly, we call it a VA jam session, virtual administration, executive admin jam session every Saturday. So Saturday night at, I think it's like 5 to 6:30 or it's 6 to 7:30. I honestly forget at this point, but it's an hour and a half every single week where we review the previous week and then we set up the next week for success. And it's all 3 of us. If one of them can't make it, it's just 2 of us. And so we've been doing this new thing at NLU that I've started calling meat and veggies. And it's very simple. So meat is essentially one sincere expression of appreciation for each team member. So every time I see a team member at NLU, and I've been implementing this with Emilia a little bit as well, I try to express something that I'm grateful for to them. The second thing is the veggies. Think of like broccoli. Think of a vegetable that you don't like, but you know it's good for you. That's kind of the idea here. Maybe kale. Or broccoli or whatever. What'd you say? All vegetables. Yeah. Think of the last salad you ate that was good for you, but it sucked compared to
the whole
macaroni
category.
And cheese pizza.
The whole category, yes.
Yeah,
macaroni
right.
and cheese pizza. I had a salad. Taryn said this to me today. She said, "Oh, you're back on the. When did you start having breakfast salads?" I said, "I invented breakfast salads." So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Might as well have written the book.
I didn't say that to her.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking. So meat and veggies. So meat is the sincere appreciation. The veggies is essentially an uncomfortable truth that is constructive feedback. You're not trying to beat people up or knock them down. You're trying to lift them up, illuminate a blind spot, talk about something that's been bothering you. That way it doesn't boil over. The suppression of self-expression leads to depression or eventual explosion, and we don't want the NLU team to ever harbor resentment. We want everyone to feel expressed and psychologically safe, and that's really difficult, honestly. It requires vulnerability. It requires consistency. It requires courage. And so Jenna and Amy brought a list. So they had 6, a list of 6. So last Saturday I was cooked, longest week ever. And Saturday at the tail end, again, 6 p.m. or so at this point. And I just finished my week, and Sunday's the only day, the full day that I don't have anything front-facing. No podcasts, no speeches, no virtual trainings, no group coaching. It's just behind-the-scenes work. And so I'm like, oh, thank God it's Saturday type of thing, a little bit. And they're like, I'm cooked at this meeting. And they're like, I don't know if we should do this right now. I'm like, no, it's totally fine. I can handle it. It's going to be fine. It's better to just get it out than it is for me to sit here and wonder what you guys are potentially upset about, for lack of better phrasing. And they ended up explaining it all, and Amy felt really bad, Jenna too, and it wasn't anything that bad. It was just little logistical things that were bothering them. Amy just moved to Nashville. Jenna just had her wedding, and there was just certain things they needed to express. So now what I've been doing with the team and what the team is doing with me a lot, which I knew would happen, right? Because as soon as I started this meat and veggies thing with the whole team, I knew I'm going to start getting veggies left and right, which is good, but also painful at times. No. So at the end of the day, all it is it's uncomfortable truths that are going to help us all grow, and it's going to help us illuminate blind spots for each other. And sometimes it'll be a rumble. So Brene Brown calls it a rumble when you have a disagreement, essentially, and then you can drive to 5 is what Kevin and I call it. But it can be uncomfortable. So what we do now is we live in the messy middle. The messy middle represents 5. It's kind of like, okay, well, Kevin has this perspective. I have this perspective. This is my truth, my perspective, and this is his. Let's see if we can find a way to integrate. Very worst case scenario, we agree to disagree, and we respect each other's choices. Usually that's not the case. And so what I've found and what I'm really grateful for and what we want to give to the listeners today is it's this weird situation that we're all in, right? We want to help people grow, and we want to grow, but it can be really uncomfortable to express uncomfortable truths to other people, but yet we all kind of know that you can't grow in your comfort zone. And so if we all want to grow to our maximum potential, we're going to have to share our perspectives with each other, and we're going to have to share uncomfortable truths with our team members, with our family, with our intimate partners. And this hopefully is a nice way to at least set the stage of like, okay, let me give you something that I really do appreciate. And usually what I'll do is I'll close my eyes and I'll just think about it, and it'll come up, and then I'll express it. And then I do the same for the veggies. And it's been really quite awesome. And I personally feel lighter because I think that all of us bottle stuff up sometimes and we end up not being as expressed. And I think it's not really good for us.
I just wanted to take a quick second and give a shout out and a huge thank you to Next Level Podcasting Solutions, Kevin and his team. They have been incredible to work with, very flexible, on the spot with any questions that I have or any concerns that I have. When I first started out my podcast, I was doing everything on my own. I have no editing background. I have no podcasting background. I knew nothing about it. And so I was bootstrapping all of this myself while I was still trying to take on my role as a full-time mom. And once I met up with Kevin and we had these discussions and I got on board with adding an editing team, oh my goodness, it just lifted this weight off of me. It lifted my time that I was spending doing my editing. And in the beginning, full transparency, when I was editing just my individual recordings, it was a little more manageable, not super manageable. And then when I started doing my interviews for the podcast, it was hours upon hours of me doing the editing that didn't include any of the promotional material that I am now getting from Kevin and his team. It wouldn't have been sustainable. I would not have been able to keep up with that. So I recommend Kevin and his team. They have done wonderful work in helping me grow my podcast. I have really enjoyed working with the editing team, and it definitely feels like more of a team environment versus me hiring them to do a specific job. I mean, we all work collaboratively on the projects that I have, and I have these crazy ideas sometimes, and they come up with a solution to fit my needs. I can't recommend them enough. I really enjoyed working with them. Kevin and the Next Level Podcasting Solutions, thank you so much for the work that you have done in the past and are continuing to do for me. I'm growing this community and growing this platform with a beautiful team that is working for me and with me to see my vision and help that come to life. So thank you again so much. I really appreciate you guys.
I think there's always going to be, to your point, Alan, there's always going to be stuff that I don't want to say is bothering you, but there's always going to be small things that you might want to get off your chest in any partnership, relationship, anything, right? I mean, I think that's just the way it is. So the ultimate goal is to get it while it's a seed before it actually grows into something that has roots. And then when that happens, it's a lot harder. Imagine, what's a good analogy of this? Imagine if you're working at a company and for years and years and years, your boss sees you doing something wrong and they never say anything. They never say anything. They never say anything. Eventually, when they say it, they're going to have to overcorrect so much, or vice versa. Say maybe you see somebody doing something wrong because you didn't start it at the beginning. You didn't start it when it was just a crack in the ice. Now it's a giant hole and you're in some trouble. So, and the other part of it too is, and you can speak to this better than I can, Alan, I'm very blessed because Taryn wants feedback. And she literally said, like, I want you to give me more feedback. This is a good prompt for me because it allows me to... It just is a reminder, like, hey, number one, Taryn wants more feedback. This is a good way for me to facilitate that within myself because I don't enjoy giving people feedback. That's just not one of my I just don't like it. I don't
Even though that's what we do for a living.
Even though that's what, yeah. Well, it's different. I've said this before. I
know.
think my job's a little bit easier than yours because I'm talking about podcasting most of the time, and the feedback isn't super personal. It's like, oh, your microphone
Whereas
sucks.
I'm talking about the flaws in your character. I'm joking.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Right,
I'm sure it comes up.
There are certain things that need to shift within each individual for them to succeed at a higher level. So it's difficult. Yeah.
It gives you permission. I think that's the ultimate thought for this is maybe if you're in a relationship, a business relationship, an intimate relationship, a family dynamic relationship, maybe you want to give somebody more feedback and you don't know how to do it. Or maybe you want to get more feedback from somebody. This is a great thing to bring up. Hey, I would love to adopt this behavior, whether it's meat and veggies or vulnerable share, or I've talked about this before. I believe, I don't remember what book this was in. Yeah, Hedgehog.
Right.
I have a hedgehog. You talk about it before it becomes a porcupine with a bunch of sharp, what are they called?
Are hedgehogs little porcupines?
I don't really know.
Neither do I.
I think so.
If that's true, that's like the first time I've made that connection.
I'm going to go with it.
Okay. Interesting. I have an analogy, Kev. This is powerful. Powerful analogy. I think he's looking up whether or not a hedgehog is a baby porcupine. That would be really cool because I actually get that analogy better now. So who here, hypothetical question, who here has ever had a crack in their windshield in their car?
Oh, yeah.
Rock comes up on the highway, hammers right into your windshield, and there's like a little tiny crack, right? You can barely see it. No big deal. No big deal. So what do you do, Kev? What do you do? You know the answer.
Just keep going, and then it gets real cold one day, and then it shatters completely.
Yeah. So what you do is you ignore it, right? That's what I did. And then you come back like a couple days later, and you're like, this little tiny crack has become like quite the significant crack here. And then eventually the crack is across your entire windshield, and you get pulled over, and you get a warning, luckily. For the crack in your windshield. No, but seriously, that's a lot of what suppressing your truth can feel like. You think it's no big deal, the bug in the garden is small, but remember, trends are too weak to notice until they're too strong to stop. We did an episode on that recently. You got to notice it when it's small, express it when it's small. Otherwise, you're going to have it all come out at once. And we've all been in relationships where we were on either end of this. It's like you end up suppress your truth. All of a sudden, it all comes out in one argument or one tough moment. Or maybe you're on the receiving end of that. And so instead, what you want to do is try to express these things. And one thing that I'll share too briefly, because we got to go here. Sometimes I don't have anything ready. Like I'm like, oh, let's do meat and veggies. And it's like, I genuinely don't have anything. I mean, I'll use an example with Jenna. I didn't have any constructive feedback. She's done awesome. So it's like I sat there for quite some time with my eyes closed on the call, probably an uncomfortable amount of time, where I had to find something that actually bothered me. And maybe not bothered me, but like something that I think she could improve because she's doing awesome. Right? And so it's not always going to be easy to come up with these things. But if you're that proactive, what are the chances that crack is actually, if you fix the crack right when you see it, it's not going to grow and destroy your windshield in this analogy. And to your point, the hedgehog turning into a porcupine, what's the verdict?
Yeah, so they're not related at all. So it's not accurate. But I think what it is it's a hedgehog because it's cute. That's what it is. It's like I have before it turns into something else, really. That's kind of what it is. So now I know. They're not related.
Neither one of us knew that.
Is closely related to the shrew and the mole. Didn't know that.
It's good.
Didn't know that. Learned something new today.
You learned every listener I know you got some value because of that.
Yeah, that's why I did it. I was like, well, I'll make sure they get something out of this episode.
Now you know.
This is a wonderful practice. It's a wonderful practice. It's simple to do. It's sustainable, and it really requires all of 2 minutes to start. That's it, right? And it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be meat and veggies. It doesn't have to be vulnerable share. It doesn't have to be hedgehog. It could be something that you make up, that you create. But I think the goal really for this episode is to understand if you have a prompt and you have a way to facilitate this, it'll happen more often. That's all.
It's a habit.
It's a habit. It's like a monthly review at work. Every month you get a review and your boss gives you feedback and you're able to give the boss feedback about the company. Awesome. Mm-hmm. If you didn't have that review, would that ever happen? I don't know. Maybe not.
Probably not as much, yeah.
Right? Not as much. So that's the goal.
I got some meat and veggies for Kev real quick before we go.
Well, let's do it, man.
All right. So the meat is sincere appreciation. You have had back-to-backs over the last couple of days. You're killing it. Appreciate it. You're out there fighting for NLU.
I am.
Helping people. I love it. The veggies would be know your animals better. I'm just joking. No, I'm kidding. No, but it would be, we don't know the name of our next episode. So that would be that would be the constructive feedback. And again, I just wanted to use that as an example because it doesn't have to be mean. It can be playful.
Yeah.
But it still can be
Alan,
useful.
I'm jeffing. It's full disclosure. This will be a moment of vulnerability. Things have really picked up in a wonderful way. I think I averaged 8 calls a week last week. So not Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, my average was 8 calls. And it was a lot. It was heavy.
Yeah.
It was heavy. So I am definitely struggling to keep up with everything. So to Alan's point, I don't know what tomorrow's episode is going to be. It will be good, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That I know. What will we talk about? I'm not sure yet.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll see it. When it comes up, there'll be a title, and it'll be a good title, hopefully, and hopefully the value of the episode will speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. Next Level Nation, we actually have to hop off of here because right after this, we have group coaching. And if you have heard this before many times and thought to yourself, you know what, right now is not the right time, finances aren't great, or I'm doing a coaching program with somebody else, or I've never done something like this, I'm not sure what to expect. Our 8th round of group coaching is starting October 4th, 2022. I believe we already have 3 or 4 people signed up, so we're going to be taking 6, 7 more, depending on how many are signed up. But we have payment plans, whether it's a 3-month payment plan or a 6-month payment plan. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be a successful business owner. All you have to do is be somebody who is a dream chaser. And you want to get a little bit better. You're committed to your own growth, and you're committed to being a good human being in a wonderful group of other amazing human beings. So everything you need to know will be in the show notes and on nextleveluniverse.com.
Every single one of those sessions, there's 6 sessions bi-weekly. There's an assistant coach. There's a private WhatsApp group. There's accountability. There's a workbook. And then there's office hours on the off weeks. And then you also get paired up with a peak performance partner. If you want to talk about accountability, picture being on a sports team toward a common goal and people helping you stay accountable along the way. It's really quite awesome. The analogy that I use for this is if you've ever played Mario Kart, one of those golden mushrooms that you can just hammer the booster over and over and over again. That's kind of what this is designed to be for your success and for your life. And then the last thing that I want to share before we go here is Next Level Live. The landing page is complete. So all the information is on there. It's fully ready. We're only ever selling 50 tickets. So if you are local to the area, I would say, so this is in Worcester, Massachusetts. If you're within 3 hours of Worcester, Mass, and of course you can fly in if you want to, for the people that are diehards, I would love for you to do that. But if you're 3 hours away, I recommend checking out the landing page. It's an awesome event, 50 people. It's going to be Kevin and I. Really, it's kind of like, imagine all of group coaching, but condensed into one sort of in-person full immersion event where you're going to meet the rest of the community and you're going to walk away again with a workbook as well. So if you are interested in that, that's March 25th of 2023.
Correct.
And we did that in 2022, and we have a course online as well. On the website, if you click on courses, Next Level Live 2022 is its own course. I think it's $47 right now. So if you want to know what Next Level Live 2023 is going to be like, download that course and then picture an amplified version of that, because obviously we get better each year.
And the content will be completely different. It's going to be,
yes.
This is going to be a very NLU event where Alan and I are on stage together going through frameworks and all that happy jazz. So that's going to be something that we've never done before, which I'm very excited for. And also mildly terrified. A little bit of both.
It'll be good.
Yeah,
It'll be good.
Maybe not, maybe. But also maybe not.
I'm excited.
No, I am too.
Yeah,
all right, we're going to go because we got to do group coaching. Next Level Nation tomorrow. Again, I don't know what the name of the episode is. I do know it's episode number 1076. We're creeping our way up to 1100. Who knew that would happen? I didn't, and I'm very excited about it. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.